What's up guys, it's your boy Annie Z here, back at it with another video. Today we'll be starting a new what if. What if Naruto was Madara and Hashirama's reincarnation and neglected? Okay, so before we start, I'll be explaining the reincarnation cycle. In this version, the cycle is a bit different. It's like the Avatar cycle. Instead of Naruto being reincarnation of Ashura, he'll be the reincarnation of both Hashirama and Ashura. But in this one, he's also the reincarnation of Indra as he's part Uchiha, which will be explained. So he is also the reincarnation of Indra and Madara. His mother was half Senju, half Uzumaki, and his father was half Uchiha and half Namikaze. Krishna's parents are Rei Senju and Shanks Uzumaki. Minato's father is Madara Uchiha and Asuna Namikaze, so he's the grandson of both Hashirama and Madara as well. So yeah, both Minato and Krishna's parents were S-rank shinobis. Shanks was the best swordman alive, while Rei had the wood release but never showed it and only used it to sneak attack enemies. And Asuna was the greatest swordswoman alive, but no one knew that she was a Namikaze as she went by the name Lightning Flash. And when she gave birth, she dropped Minato off in Konoha. Okay, so now let's start. After the death of Hashirama and Madara, they both find themselves in a strange area with two other individuals that looked somewhat like them. These two were Indra and Ashura. So you are reincarnations, Indra asked. Yes, they are. Hashirama is mine and Madara is yours, said Ashura, as they both began to explain the reincarnation cycle to Madara and Hashirama. So this is the afterlife for us, said Madara. Yes, it is, said a voice. This voice was Hagoromo Otsuki. Father, both Indra and Ashura yelled. Ashura with surprise and Indra with rage. Yes, my son, it is I, and I am very disappointed in you. Both of you strive for peace, but both of you started war, not with others, but amongst yourselves. How can you expect to achieve peace if you can't stop fighting with each other? If you force your successors to fight, how would they get peace? Hagoromo declared, causing Indra, Madara, Hashirama and Ashura to feel ashamed. Indra, there was a reason why I chose Ashura as my successor. I told you the stories about your grandmother, and you strived to be just like her. You wanted to rule the world. Madara, I know all about your Eye of the Moon clan, and I'm here to tell you how wrong you are, as he explained the true purpose behind the Eye of the Moon clan. That damn Zetsu, Madara yelled, finding out that he was being manipulated. Yes, but now all of you have the chance to fix it. There is this child that all of you will be reincarnated into. I chose him, both you, Indra and Ashura, to be reincarnated into. But it seems that you two will be going along with him, Madara and Hashirama. He is a child of prophecy, the one that I said a few thousand years ago that will save the world. Well, that's if the world's worth saving. He will decide if it's worth saving or destroying, Hagoromo said. Father, so you chose our reincarnation for us, so we can fix our mistakes and find peace, said Ashura. Both you, Indra, and your successors will be in one body and will have one reincarnation. His name is Uzumaki Senju Namikaze Uchiha Naruto, the grandson of both Hashirama and Madara, and that fact is unknown to all, but he will find out when you lot tell him. Our grandsons, both Madara and Hashirama said, surprised that their line lived that long. Yes, but his life will be horrible. There's a reason why I chose him. He will be neglected and hated by all of the village, unfortunately, but he will rise above the hatred or he'll be taken over it. If he's taken over it, the world will be destroyed, but if he rises above it, he will save the world, Hagoromo said. And one more thing, Madara, Hashirama. Only you two can speak to Indra and Ashura, but only Naruto can only speak to you two. And also, do not try to influence him to peace or anything like that. He decides if the world is worth saving or not. Anyway, my time is up. I wish you all of the best of luck, Hagoromo said, as a flash came and they disappeared. Alright, so now we go to the human realm in Leaf. We see Krishna giving birth to 3 children, Menma, Mito and Naruto, in that order. So Naruto is the youngest while Menma is the oldest. Menma was kidnapped by Obito and saved by Minato, but Obito injected Menma with a drug that made his chakra coils weaker. This was so that he can have at least 1 weak Jinchuriki so that he can capture. So now we skip to the sealing. This time, Minato did a different sealing technique. He sealed, unknowingly, 50% of the QB, the good side of the QB, into Naruto, while sealing the other 50% divided into Menma and Mito, and that was the bad QB. They thought that Naruto had the soul, while the others had 50% of the chakra inside of them. Minato and Krishna then felt hatred for Naruto. Unknowingly, they sent killer intent to him, causing Naruto to unlock the One Tomoe Sharingan in both eyes. But since Naruto was a baby, he ran out of chakra and his eyes reverted back to his normal ones. However, the Sharingan remembered the faces that Minato and Krishna gave him. Minato and Krishna then announced to the village what happened and how Menma and Mito were the saviors and how Naruto was the demon reincarnated. This caused the village to praise Menma and Mito while seeing Naruto as the Nine-Tails reincarnation, which means that he was hated. Time skip 3 years. Naruto's life has been a living hell. He had been abused by his family. Krishna would always beat him, while Minato would always verbally abuse him, telling him he's a failure and that he has 1,000 reasons to die. His siblings used him as target practice, to which Krishna rewarded them for. We now find Naruto in a dark room in the attic. The room was dusty and had no light. It had no heating and Naruto was freezing. He had no bed, he slept on the floor. He had no blankets either. Sometimes the spikes of the floorboards would stab him. It turns out that Minato and Krishna purposely removed some spikes out and placed it in the open so that Naruto would get stabbed. His parents all said he was a demon and he doesn't deserve luxury and that he should be happy that they are giving a shelter over his head. He got up to look outside to see his siblings training with his family and they were happy. He was quite jealous. Even Jiraiya and Tsunade was helping him. Jiraiya and Tsunade also hated him. Tsunade said that he was the one that killed Dan apparently somehow, and Jiraiya said that he wasn't the child of prophecy, so he was not worth having time. Naruto then started to cry to himself, asking why everybody hated him. Krishna then came in and said, "Demon, it's time for you to be Menma Mito's target practice," she said, smiling evilly, as she wrapped the chakra chains around him and took him down as he cried in protest. "Right, demon, run," said Menma, throwing kunais at him, which slashed as Mito started to join in as they laughed as Naruto screamed in pain. After 2 hours of torture, Krishna told Naruto to get out and that they wanted to enjoy some time in the house. Without the demon's presence. Naruto went outside, bleeding, and was heading towards the forest of death, his only source of protection. He loved nature, he loved the trees. It somehow felt natural to him. He had a powerful sensory abilities, so he could feel that everybody had hatred for him. He knew the Namakazes had a big hatred for him. He also hid the fact that he was a censor from the Namakazes, as they thought that it would be the demon trying to get powerful. He then saw villagers and shinobi gathering around him as they started to beat him. He was bleeding out as then he heard Chidori, and the lightning blade was jabbed right into him as he was knocked out. But before that happened, Naruto's Sharingan morphed to the 3 Tomoe state. The third Hokage arrived and actually killed all involved in the attack. Well, apart from Kakashi, because Kakashi managed to escape before the third arrived using Kamui. He then sent his Anbu to tell Minato what happened. Minato didn't care, but went because he didn't want Naruto to die or the soul could go to Menma and Mito. Or worse, the Nine-Tails could be free. In Naruto's mindscape before the attack, how can they hurt a little boy? How can his family hurt him? Hashirama asked, disappointed in the village he created. These weaklings dare attack my grandson and my reincarnations, Madara said, enraged, thinking of how he would destroy the village when he was revived. But I'm proud of him. He managed to unlock the 3 Tomoe Sharingan at the age of 3. He's even better than me, Madara said, to which Hashirama nodded. Indeed, the village has lost the will of fire, but Naruto hasn't. He will be the strongest, and I regret saving the village from you. I hereby disown Tsunade, Hashirama said. Hashirama, I don't care if you don't agree or not, but I'm going to train our grandson. I'm going to make him the strongest damn shinobi in existence. I'll make sure that he surpasses all of us, Madara says in an angry but serious tone. Hashirama thought of it for a while, and then he allowed it. But he knew if he only allowed Madara to train Naruto, Naruto would be like Madara, unforgiving and merciless. So he would train Naruto as well and make sure that Naruto was somewhat forgiving to people who deserved it at least. With Naruto, he was in a forest, unlike the forest of death, but there was a large cage in the middle. When Naruto walked to the cage, he saw a big red eye open up. Naruto jumped back and screamed and tried to run. When he turned around, he saw 2 figures, one wearing the Uchiha clan symbol and the other wearing the Senju clan symbol. Who are you? Naruto asked, as Madara did something unexpected and hugged Naruto. Naruto flinched but let it happen. So you are my grandson in reincarnation, Madara said. I am Madara Uchiha, your grandfather, and this is Hashirama Senju. He is your grandfather as well. As Hashirama hugged Naruto. You two are my GG, Naruto said. Yes, Madara said, as they both explained the backstory and all about Indra and Ashura. Naruto, both me and Madara had decided to train you, said Hashirama. Really, Hashi GG? Naruto said, to which Hashirama chuckled. Naruto, before me and Hashirama died, we made a secret base unknown to all in the Forest of Death. It's in the biggest tree, the first tree that Hashirama created. I want you to go there. Only someone with both our chakra can get in. In it will be all you will need to train, like weights, clothes, and other stuff like sealing scrolls and stuff like that, okay? There is also a special clone of Mito sealed in the scroll, so she can help you with your Uzumaki training, so you can learn sealing and stuff like that. Finally, my wife, your grandmother, the Lightning Flash, is also sealed in there, and so is the swords and the sword style. Remember, Minato doesn't know that he was the son of the Lightning Flash, so yeah, all of that is yours, Madara said. Hey there, Kit, the Ninetales said, as Naruto looked fearfully at the Ninetales. Hello, can you tell me your name, Naruto said in fear. Don't worry, Kit, I'm not going to hurt you. All of my hatred and anger and negative emotions are sealed inside your siblings, while you have my good side, and I will be your first friend. My name is Kurami, said the female fox. Really? Naruto said with hope, to which Kurami just nodded. Naruto ran and hugged her, leaving a confused Madara and a jaw-dropped Hashirama. Guess our grandson tamed the Ninetales, and it's true what they say, the small ones really do like fluffy things, Madara said. How dare you, Kurumi, how dare you steal my grandson from me, said a crying Hashirama, to which Madara just rolled his eyes. When Naruto woke up, he went to his house. He knew that Anbu was following him, so he didn't want to go to the base, as Hashirama and Madara told him to keep it a secret. When he got home, he was stopped by Kushina and Minato, and they said that he was banished from the clan, as they needed to train the child of prophecy and they didn't want Naruto corrupting them. Naruto grabbed his clothes happily and ran to the forest, to which Mito and Memma laughed as they just called him a clanless dobe. Getting to the forest, Hashirama led Naruto to the base. As he entered it, he used both Madara and Hashirama's chakra to get in. His jaws dropped. The main room had like sofas, TVs and all that stuff. A dining table, and then there was the bedroom, which had a king-size bed. The next space was the training room, which had a gravity chamber with all types of terrain like sea, lava, forests, snowy and rocky terrains, and there were other terrains as well. The next room was a kitchen. Finally was the armory. Over there was the dead bodies of Madara and his wife and Hashirama and his wife. So Orochimaru won't be reviving them anytime soon, and Yamato or Danzo will not be having any Hashirama cells. I arrived, said Naruto looking around. Good, Naruto. First we will start with your chakra control training. So I want you to go to the nearest tree and climb up it. After you master that, you'll be going to the sea and we'll be learning water walking. Okay, Madara said. Okay, Naruto said, as he went and did the exercises. After a few days, Naruto had gained perfect chakra controls thanks to his clones and the fact that he had Senju DNA in him, which gave him high chakra control. Now Naruto, create 1000 shadow clones and create 2 wood clones and channel our chakra in the wood clones so we can control them, Madara said. Naruto did what he was told as he created 1000 shadow clones and created 2 wood clones in which he channeled Madara and Hashirama's chakra, giving them control. 200 clones come with me to learn how to use the Sharingan, said Madara. 200 come with me to learn the wood style, said Hashirama. And 200 of you will learn from Mito Uzumaki and the other scrolls left behind. Also, now to channel some chakra into the scroll so you can actually summon her so she can actually teach you. And the Mito I'm talking about is the first Hokage's wife, not his stupid sister. After Naruto summoned her, she agreed to teach him when Hashirama explained everything that happened. She was very disappointed in Naruto's family, especially Kushina. The person she saw as a daughter has abandoned her own son. The final 200 will learn with Asuna Namikaze's lightning flash sword style, said Madara, handing them the scrolls. Time skip 3 years later. Naruto had said wood clones around the village to not arouse suspicion. Naruto had mastered the wood style and the Mangekyou Sharingan, and also had Caesium 1. Naruto remembered how Madara helped. He had been sparring against Madara when his eyes turned into the 3 Tomoe Sharingan. Madara, realizing it, instantly put him under a genjutsu, showing him Minato killing Kurami, who had become like a mother to him. This caused Naruto to roar out in pain as he felt his eyes beginning to evolve, giving him the Mangekyo Sharingan. After this happened, Madara made sure that Naruto had 2 months of ruthless training, and he was the first person to unlock the Sharingan and nearly master it at the age of 3. End of flashback. Naruto was currently sparring with both Madara and Hashirama. He was able to match them, but he would easily get destroyed when they went above 70%. However, in a 1v1, Naruto would just barely lose. Hashirama were proud of him because this 6-year-old can nearly beat them in a 1v1. Alright Naruto, that's enough sparring. It's time for seeing practice, Mito said. Naruto went to the first Hokage's wife to get his training done. Over the years, he had mastered level 9 out of level 10 in Uzumaki Sealing, and he also had learned to control his chakra chains and also learned how to do chakra weapon manifesting, which was a ability that he discovered that he had. He can create weapons out of nowhere. Minato and Krishna were only level 3, but they didn't have access to level 10 as most of the Uzumaki seal scrolls were destroyed in the war. But the Hokage secret base had backups. So yeah, well, the first Hokage secret base, because no other Hokage can enter this apart from Madara and Hashirama, and also Naruto because Naruto had their chakras. Naruto was nearly finished learning the level 10, and he knew that once he completed level 10, he could free his mother Kurami so that she can at least get out when he dies. Today was the day that the first Hokage's wife would pass on because her chakra was running out. So they decided to end the training early and spend time with each other. Time skip a few hours. Mito was starting to fade away as Naruto cried in her arms. And then, after a few seconds, she fully disappeared. Madara, looking at his grandson, felt sad when he noticed something happened. Naruto's eyes began to shift from red to purple and then back to red. Madara, knowing what was happening, smirked. This boy was truly his legacy, and the legacy of Hashirama, the legacy of the founders, he said, as Madara realized that Naruto had just somewhat unlocked the Rinnegan, but it shifted back to the Sharingan instantly. Madara then took Naruto to Naruto's room and tucked him to bed as Naruto fainted from being sad, or from crying. The next morning, Naruto woke up feeling sad. He asked Madara and Hashirama what they were going to do today. Madara then replied with cooking and crafting, which made Naruto's sweat drop. Why? I thought we were going to learn how to fight, Naruto said. Because Mito isn't here anymore, and unlike us, you still need to eat. So learning to cook and craft will help you. Also, you'll be making your own swords and armor, as our armor won't be fitting you anytime soon. But next week, Naruto learned to cook and make armor using his Shadoukens. He easily became a master in that department. He also managed to break Kurami's seal, so now when he died, she can escape, and also she can give him as much power as he wanted to, and he can also unlock KCM too. He also managed to recreate Flying Thunder God from the second's notes, and also learned to create the true Rasengan that Ashura had used in his battle with Indra. He also applied elements to it, to which he called Elemental Style Planetary Rasengan. Madara and Hashirama told him that the practice of the training is over and that he had learned all the techniques and fighting styles they had, and now all he needs is real life experience, not just spars from them, because they would normally go easy on him. Well, not easy, well, they would normally slow down when he was about to lose, but that would happen in real life. Right now he is mid Kage level, but because he has no experience, he is not on Madara and Hashirama's level. If he had experience, he could easily be on their level on the war arc. Madara also told him that he still needs to master the Rinnegan, even though he can use it to Nagato's level. Madara just taught Naruto a few techniques like summoning meteors, but Naruto would always miss the meteors. Naruto's armor was basically Madara and Hashirama's armor with all the logos of the Senju clan, the Uchiha clan, and the Uzumaki clan, and the Otsutsuki clan. The reason Naruto did Otsutsuki was because he was the reincarnation of Indra and Ashura, so he wanted to represent them as well. Naruto also traded eyes with Madara's original eyes from Madara's dead body so he can lock the EMS. Naruto's natural chakra reserves were a combination of Madara, Hashirama and his, which was as strong as the Six Tails. Okay, so now we'll go to Menma and Mito's point of view. Menma and Mito had been trained by Krishna, Minato, Tsunade and Jiraiya. Mito had gotten the Rasengan down, just barely though, while Menma has just barely gotten through the water walking exercise. Tsunade looked at Menma and realized that he had trouble controlling his chakra due to the toxin Obito had injected into him when he attacked. Minato theorized that it was so that Obito can keep one of the Jinchurikis weak, so he made sure to keep Menma weak because he knew that Menma was the oldest, so he would most definitely become a Jinchuriki. They taught Menma the Rasengan and he barely managed to use it, but it would faint off that because he uses so much chakra, but sometimes the Kyuubi would just give some chakra so that Menma wouldn't faint. Mito had low level chakra control like Naruto did when he first mastered the Rasengan in canon, while Menma had no chakra control, like he couldn't even create a normal clone. Even shadow clones, some of them turned out to be dead. Their arsenal consisted of 2 wind style jutsus, the shadow clone, and mid Chunin level Kenjutsu, which was swords, and the Rasengan. Menma has the toad while Mito has the slug summoning. In order to try and fix Menma, Tsunade tried to channel some of her chakra, which somewhat fixed it, but he also, basically his chakra control was like half of what Mito's was. The next day, Menma and Mito were getting ready for academy. Okay, so now we're gonna go with Naruto. It was the same day as Mito and Menma were getting ready for academy. Naruto had finished creating his own version of Zetsu, as his version of Zetsu came out. He called it Woody, and he ordered Woody to turn into him and enter the academy, as today would be the day he would leave the village to join the rebels of the mist in war so he could get experience. Madara actually suggested this idea. Although Hashirama was heavily against it, Naruto decided that he would go there because he wanted to become as strong as his grandfathers.
Yo, what's up guys, it's your boy AniZ here, back at it with another video. Today we'll be doing What If Naruto Was Neglected and Madara and Hashirama's Reincarnation Part 2. So we start off with Naruto leaving the Leaf Village. When Naruto left the Leaf borders, which was just a little bit past the Valley of End, Naruto was confronted by the route Anbu sent by Danzo. Lord Danzo had us patrolling the area in case you left, demon, said the captain. Oh, so trash, come to die, said Naruto, staring at 100 shinobi. How dare you, demon. Originally we were going to give you a chance to surrender, but now we will beat the shit out of you and take you to Lord Danzo ourselves, replied the same captain. Oh really, this is what the great Danzo has trained? All of you are weak. Just watch as a 6-year-old defeats you. Let's see what Danzo's trash can do, Naruto said, activating the Sharingan. The root then charged at Naruto, who just phases through all the attacks. How do you have Kakashi Hatake's ability, demon? Said the root Anbu. Oh, Kakashi's? No, this is my ability. My Sharingan possesses all Sharingan abilities and much, much more, Naruto said. Do not falter. Get the demon to Lord Danzo, the captain screamed. Do you not understand it is worthless? You can't even touch me. If I use my special Sharingan ability, you would be dead, said Naruto. Fire, water, earth, lightning, wind, dragon jutsu, yelled all the root shinobis, firing their jutsus at Naruto. Elemental style, 5 elemental planetary Rasengans, Naruto said, creating 5 Rasengan orbs, each with a different element, and using good sage mode to make it bigger. And then he slammed it at the root shinobi, killing most of them.
With only 10 captains remaining, Naruto activated his Sharingan ability. Time skip a few seconds, all 10 captains were dead just like that. So this is the power of Danzo's root shinobi. Disgusting, so weak, said Naruto. Naruto then continued his trip, rushing off before Minato's Anbu can identify him. Naruto then reached the Fire Country capital, where he went to the Senju Uchiha and Uzumaki vault and emptied it by using Shishi's Genjutsu on the manager to trick him that it was either Minato, Fugaku or Tsunade going to the vault to get the money. When he went to the vault, he used Kamui to store all the treasures and scrolls into his pocket dimension. After that, he went to the Namikaze vault and took everything as well. Then he went shopping where he bought a fox mask. So now he was dressed in his version of Madara's armor, which was black and red, and he had a fox mask on his face. He had black gloves and shoes, and had Madara's gunbai on the back, and had Asuna Namikaze's swords on the side of his body. So now that Naruto was done, he went to stock up on some kunais and weapons and get some food. After that, he left for the Wave Village. On the way to the gate, he heard some rumors of how the land of Woodfall was treating their Jinchuriki. Naruto was pissed because these weaklings are hurting a child for protecting them from a beast. He was reminded of his past, so he decided he would go and save the Seven Tails and also make a powerful ally. So changing paths, he left towards the Waterfall village. On the way, Naruto encounters some bandits. "Looky here, boys, it's a kid playing Madara," said the bandit, laughing, as all the other bandits starts to laugh. "Alright kid, we're feeling in a good mood and you were kind of a joker, so just give us the armor and all your stuff and we will let you go. Normally we would just sell you to Gato, who would give us lots of money for slaves like you. You dare presume I'm weak like yourself, weaklings? You weaklings can't even graze me," Naruto said, channeling his Madara side. "You want to play tough, kid? Alright, fine, let's play tough. We were gonna let you go, but now we're gonna kill you and sell your organs to Gato," said the bandit as they charged at him. Naruto then quoted his blade and lightning and used the body flicker to kill him. Weaklings. Talked big, ended up dead. Dead in the ground, Naruto said silently with disgust. Time skip a few days. The rest of the trip had been uneventful, and Naruto had been standing before the gate of Waterfall. Naruto sneaked in. When he got there, he saw the village was okay, but compared to Leaf, as much as he hated to admit it, Leaf was more advanced than this village. He then heard a scream. He went to see what made the scream, and what he saw made his blood boil. "You damn demon, you dare come to my shop again after I kicked you out last time," said the baker. "Please sir, I just wanted some bread, I need to eat," said the girl. He then grabbed some bread and threw it at her. "Take it and leave and never come back, you stupid demon," he said, as she ran away crying and eating the bread. Naruto followed her to see what was going on. In the alley, he saw some shinobi pull her into the alleyway. "So demon, you ready to die?" Suddenly he fell to the ground, and so did all the other villagers. They then saw a figure grab the Seven Tails and hug her. They saw that he had the Sharingan active. Who are you?" "I'm your worst nightmare," replied the figure, as he gave Fu his sword. "They tried to kill you. It's only fair that you return the favor," Naruto said. "Don't worry sister, I'll protect you," said Naruto in a soft voice as he comforted Fu. Fu, trusting him, killed all of the shinobi, and she started to cry that she was a monster. After a few minutes of comforting her, Naruto body flickered them to a safe location. So what's your name?" he asked Fu. "My name's Fu," she said. "Fu, you know that you're a Jinchuriki, right, of the Seven Tails? The reason I called you sister is because I am the Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails," Naruto said. Fu then hugged him and said, "I always wanted a family. It's okay, Fu, your brother will protect you now. It's okay, Fu, your brother will protect you now, but I'm leaving for the mist to fight in the war, so you need to make a choice. You either come with me or you stay here," Naruto said. "I'll go with you. I never felt safe here. No one likes me. Then you came and saved me. This was the first time anybody has ever done anything for me, and it made me feel so happy," she said. "Good," said Naruto as he carried them to the fire capital. "Alright Fu, we're heading towards the mist, but we need to go to Wave first, cause that's the only way to get through there." "Can't use the teleportation ability?" "No, it only works if I know what the place looks like, and I don't know what the mist village looks like." Time skip a few days. Naruto and Fu had arrived at Wave. They went to get a room but found that no one had any, so they went exploring. During the exploring, they saw a crowd, and they went there to see a man on the cross, and a ugly man was executing him. No, not my dad, he didn't do anything. Leave him alone, you scumbag," said the little boy. During their time here, Naruto found out about the man called Gato. Naruto then appeared next to Gato and cut his head off, and cut the ropes that was restraining the man. "People of Wave, you are now free," Naruto shouted as Fu stood behind him. Suddenly the crowd started to cheer. Naruto then celebrated with the crowd as he stayed with the man's family he saved. He made friends with a boy called Inari, the boy that was screaming to save his father. And then he learnt that the man called Tazuna was building a bridge to the Land of Fire to get some help from Leaf. Naruto managed to persuade him not to go to Leaf as he told them that and shared his backstory with them. They were horrified and vowed not to trust the Leaf ever. Naruto then went on to slaughter Gato's men at his hideout and gave Wave back their money, but took control of Gato's company, changing it to Fox Trading from Gato's Trading. After a few months, Fu and Naruto trained. Naruto trained Fu to become a Jonin level and had her do some missions that Tazuna had, like fight some bandits and some rogue shinobis that were near the village or trying to attack the village, while he would take out high level threats like A to S rank shinobis. Fu was now mid Jonin level, but when she accessed her Seven Tails chakra, she was at least mid Kage level. Naruto had decided that Fu was strong enough and had control over her Biju, so they left to go to Mist after hiring a boat. They set off to go to Mist. On the way, he noticed the Land of Whirlpool. He remembered Mito telling him to make a stop there and there might be some interesting stuff over there, but decided to do that later as he heard that the rebels nearly lost the war. After weeks on sea, Naruto had arrived. He saw a red-headed girl getting chased by some shinobi. The girl was his age. Look, if it isn't Mai Terumi's niece, Kira, killing her would be so fun and it would definitely make Mai go into despair, which means we won the war. "Leave me alone. You killed my family and killed my friends," said the girl, crying. Naruto, hearing enough, made some hand signs and said, "Fire style, fireball jutsu," killing all of the shinobi. "Thanks for the help. You're a rebel, I presume?" "No, not yet, but if your aunt lets me, I will be." She will once I tell her that you saved me," she said. Fu appeared to Naruto's side. "Who's that?" "Oh, that's my sister Fu. Come on now, you know where your aunt is, let's go." "Yeah, follow me," she said. Naruto and the gang then arrived to see Mai on her knees, staring down the loyalists. "You see, Mai, your forces have lost, and your backup won't arrive in time. Now it's over, die," Hyuga said, shooting a chakra blast at her. "Woodstyle would warn," Naruto said, "protecting Mai from thousands of jutsus that were sent by Hyuga and his men." "Who are you? How dare you get in my way of eliminating those bloodline monsters?" Hyuga shouted. "I'm Naruto Uzumaki Uchiha Senju, but you can call me your end." As Mai's backup then arrived. "Mai-sama, who's that?" they said. "That boy saved me with Woodstyle," she said. "Attack," Hyuga shouted. "Woodstyle, deep forest emergence," Naruto said, as lots of trees emerged from the ground, killing most of them. 50% of Hyuga's forces was wiped out in seconds. "Impossible. He killed 50,000 shinobis in a single jutsu. That jutsu, that bloodline, it belonged to the first Hokage. Is he Senju?" was what was heard throughout the battlefield. Naruto then charged towards the remaining shinobi, using his blades to cut through them like paper. When he was hit back by a wind attack, he then did some hand signs. "Fire style, majestic destroyer flame," he yelled, killing several shinobis. "Water style, wall of water," shouted many shinobis, trying to stop the flame. Naruto then activated his Sharingan and charged towards the remaining shinobis, killing them all. Suddenly came a fleet of 2,000 more enemy shinobis. Naruto's body flickered back. "Are you scared? But out of chakra," Hyuga said. Naruto laughed and said, "Let me show you your true power," as his eyes turned purple, and in Naruto's eyes was the Rinnegan. Suddenly the whole battlefield was covered in darkness. Is this ninjutsu? We can't outrun it." "Is this the power of a god?" was what was heard throughout the battlefield. "What are you doing? You'll kill us all," Mai said, looking at the meteor that was coming towards the battlefield. "Don't worry," Naruto said, as one of his eyes morphed back to the Sharingan. "Guess it's time to reveal my Sharingan's true power." "Dream," he said, as when the meteor made impact with everyone, it looked like they all died, but after the smoke cleared, it revealed that only Hyuga's shinobi were dead. Mai and the others were safe, and so was Naruto and Fu. "How are we alive? The meteor came straight for us. It hit us. We're still alive?" asked Mai. "This is my Sharingan ability. I call it Dream. It allows me to manipulate reality as long as I have chakra. I can do anything. I used it to make us invincible," Naruto said, shocking everyone. "He's a god. Only a god can have that power," was what was said throughout the battlefield. "Why is Hyuga alive?" "I didn't keep him alive, if you're wondering. He used his Bijuu mode so he can save himself. He went into his three-tailed state, but don't worry, he's knocked out now." "But I can also see someone putting a genjutsu on him. They had the Sharingan. He was being used and controlled. Do you want me to kill him?" Kill him, said all of the shinobi, as they hated the fact that their families died because of him. "Fine, but who will be your next Jinchuriki? I'll see all the Beiju into the next source." "My niece shall be," said Mai. Naruto then began to see all the Three Tails into Kira and killed Hyuga, becoming the hero of Mist. Naruto then told Mai he was heading towards the Cloud Village, as joining them would bring war to them from Leaf and they needed time to recover. "Thanks for everything," Mai said, as Kira shyly came up and hugged him. "Thanks, Naruto-kun," she said. Naruto was then added to the bingo book. His entry was the true god of shinobi, rank SSS, named Naruto Uzumaki Uchiha Senju. Age 6, killed 102,000 shinobi and the Mizukage. Bloodline Rinnegan, Red Release and Sharingan. Do not engage unless on a team of 5 Kages or more. Naruto suddenly became feared throughout the nations. He was also known as the hero of Wave and Mist. Fu also had a S-rank bingo entry as she travelled with Naruto and was actually decently strong. She was also wanted by the waterfall with a capture on site order. Naruto knew that when Lee found out about him, the village would put a capture on site order on him, or they might even put a kill order on him because Minato hated him that much. Naruto arrived at the Cloud Village soon enough with Yugito. A flashback now. Yugito was surrounded by Root Ambu. "Demon, our master wishes for you to serve him. Come peacefully or we will take you by force." "Piss off, Leaf, I ain't joining you. I like my village," she said. "You know, a bunch of grown men attacking a young woman isn't that nice," said Naruto, jumping down. "The Nine Tails, Danzo will reward us if we captured him, even more than if he captured the Two Tails," to which Naruto just pulled up Madra's gunbite and started to kill them all. "Thanks for saving me, but why are you doing this? And why are you here?" she said. I'm saving you from the trash because you could be my teammate one day, Naruto said. What do you mean? I want to join the Cloud Village because of what Leaf did to me, Naruto said as he explained his life. Naruto entered with Yugito and was escorted to Ai, the Raikage, where he explained everything, shocking Ai. So the true god of Shinobi wants to join my village and will bring Leaf's most powerful bloodlines and Acid the Ninetales to Cloud, Ai said, chuckling. Not just that, but I also bring all of the scrolls that they possessed and the money they had. Also, I have alliance with Wave and Mist, Naruto said. Deal, I said. I have just one request. I request to have Killer Bee as my sensei and have Yugito and Fu as my teammates. Also, we will take the tuning exams at Leaf to show the scum that we are better than them, and to show Minato who's boss, Naruto said angrily. A team of Jinchuriki, why not? I said. It's a pleasure doing business with you, Raikage-sama. Over the weeks, Naruto built the Cloud's Uzumaki Uchiha Senju clan house. He had a big building that was as big as a castle, with the 3 clan logos displayed proudly on the entrance. Naruto was walking in, he then saw Fu sleeping on the sofa, hugging a beetle plush. As he went to the back room, he went to his mindscape and was greeted to the sight of his senseis Madara and Hashirama and Kurami, who was like a mother to him. I'm so proud of you, my grandson, Hashirama said. Naruto, you did good. You managed to end a war single-handedly and also became a hero and create alliances. You are officially the legacy of me and Hashirama, Madara said proudly. Thanks, GG, Naruto said. Kid, you did good. You became a hero and I'm so proud of you. I'm proud to have you as my Jinchuriki, Kurami said. Yo, what's up guys, it's your boy Anizi here, back at it with part 3 of What If Naruto Was Madara and Hashirama's Reincarnation. So guys, last time Naruto made his own Zetsu called Woody, and after that he left the village for the mist. On the way there, he heard rumors of how the waterfall was treating the Jinchuriki, so he saved her before continuing to Wave. He then saved Inari's father from Gato and then trained with Fu at the Wave village. He did some missions for Wave like eliminating bandits, restoring peace to Wave, and after that he went and saved Mai and her niece from being killed. He also killed the loyalists in the Mist War, becoming a hero of Wave, and he also earned SSS rank in the bingo book, with his partner Fu having S rank. Minato was in his office doing some paperwork. He was pissed he couldn't spend time with his precious Menma and Mito. Not only that, but his son had bad chakra control. And Mito was arrogant, thinking that she was the best because she was always ahead of Menma. Krishna suggested bringing back Naruto so that they can make Menma feel good, but Jiraiya refused, saying the demon would corrupt them. He was confused that someone had killed the root that was stationed to stop the village from being attacked, but he thought nothing of it. He thought Danzo was just training his own root. He was also pressurized by the elders to get a contract with the Mist Village as they had recovered from the war. He was also fuming that someone had killed Gato, as he was secretly funding Gato so that he can make his children look good when they save Wave Village, and it will also secure them an alliance with Wave. Sensei, the bingo book has arrived, Kakashi said. Why is it late? Minato said. I heard the Raikage was going to change some information for Shinobi in the book. He's taken an apprentice or something like that, Kakashi said. Oh really? Minato said as he started to read the bingo book or looking for threats. He then stumbled on the S-rank ninja who went by the name of Bugcree, a former rogue waterfall ninja now in the cloud. She was through the Seven-Tails Jinchuriki. What? Minato shouted. How dare the Raikage takes another Jinchuriki? He's disturbing the flow of balance. Krishna then came in after hearing Minato scream. Hi Minato-kun, is everything right? She said. Yeah, it is, Krishna. It's just that the Seven-Tails have joined the Cloud Village, Minato said. Stupid bitch, she should have come to us, Krishna said. So, want to read the bigger book with me? Minato said. Remember me over at school? Sure, she said. When they turned the page, they were in shock and fear. Bingo book entry number 0308. Alias the true god of Shinobi. Name Naruto Uchiha Uzumaki Senju. Bloodlines and ability legendary Rinnegan. Legendary word release under Eternal Mangekyou Sharingan. Also the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki. Village allied to Hidden Cloud. Feats: killed Gato, saved the land of Wave. Killed 100,000 Shinobi of the Mist and dropped a meteor on the rest. Killed Yagura the Mizukage and secured the Mist and Wave alliance for the Cloud Village. Known family: Minato Namikaze, the Flash, disowned. Krishna Uzumaki, Red Death, disowned. Madara Uchiha, Ghost of Uchiha, deceased. Hashirama Senju, the god of Shinobi, deceased. Said to be greater than his father in his prime and on par with Madara and Hashirama, his grandfathers, at their prime. He's called the legacy of Madara and Hashirama, as it was confirmed by the Raikage through blood tests that he is their grandson. He is also a perfect Jinchuriki of the Nine-Tails. Orders: do not engage. I repeat, do not engage. He's unstoppable. We had to make him his own rank. Anbu, bring the fake Naruto running around our village now, Minato shouted. We then see Woody being dragged into Minato's office. So, Naruto, do you know why you are here? Minato said. No, the so-called Naruto said. As Minato then jams their kunai into Naruto's chest as the illusion fades away, revealing a black gooey mess. How did you know? Woody asked. Bingo book, Minato said. Oh, so the boss is finally finished with his goals. He's either part of the cloud or mist by now, Woody said. You dare help the demon betray us? Now our home looks weak. We lost the strongest shinobi we could have had, according to the Bingo book. This is going to damage our village's reputation. And now the cloud also has 4 Jinchuriki, which makes them the strongest, when Leaf should be the strongest. Is it true about us being related to either Madara or Hashirama? Minato asked. Well, you're lucky the boss said I could tell you about that. And yes, you lot are related to Madara and Hashirama, so yeah. But unlike Naruto, you're not their reincarnations either, so yeah. But Naruto is the reincarnations. Minato can that means that Menma and Mita will be amazing, Krishna said. No, they're not. They're not perfect hybrids. They won't unlock any bloodlines, unlike Naruto, who is perfectly 1/3 Senju, 1/3 Uchiha, and 1/3 Uzumaki. A perfect hybrid, while Menma and Mita are just Namakazes, because the 3 bloods in them were fighting for control and utilizing the Kyuubi's chakra, and they destroyed themselves, leaving only the Namikaze genes. Woody said, laughing at Menma and Mita. And also Krishna and Minato. Minato and Krishna got angry at this. Well, whatever, you piece of shit. It's time for you to go to jail for helping a fugitive escape. And also for using a false identity and staying in our village, Minato said. As Woodyus laughed and all the Anbu came charging towards him. They all died as he let out an aura. That's my aura of despair, and I believe it's time that I left, Woody said as he went into the ground. He went to the secret base that Madara and Hashirama left and sealed it into a scroll and left to find its master. Alright, so now we're going to graduation day. Naruto's life in Cloud was perfect. He now had a family and friends, which he never had back in the Leaf Village. His family consisted of Raikage, who was like a father, B, who was like a brother, and Yugito, who was like an older sister, and Fu, who was like a younger sister. His friends were Kari, Dari, and Samui. He was also friends with Kira Tsurumi, who came over to the Cloud to hang around from the Mist Village, since a Cloud and Mist had their alliance, and Wave also had an alliance with Mist and Cloud. Naruto over here was treated like royalty, bringing 3 legendary bloodlines that were feared throughout the Elemental Nations, and also Leaf's most powerful techniques, because when Naruto left he also stole the Scroll of Sealing. And also brought another asset, the Nine Tails. Naruto was feared throughout the nations, which also guaranteed Cloud's safety as he was a perfect deterrent for war. He also graduated at the Rookie of Years. So now it's the team selection day. Before I announce the team, Team 1 and 2 will be a special elite team, led by one Jonin instructor. Team 1 consists of Naruto, Yugito, and Fu, and the second team under Killer B will be Samui, Dari, and Kaori. Killer B then came in and told the teams to meet them at the waterfall in the Cloud Village. All shinobi body flickered there as they weren't Leaf trash and they knew that shit. Okay, so I am your sensei. Before we start off, we'll go with the introductions. I will go first and then you will go. Okay, so follow my example. My name is B and I'm the 8 Tails. My likes are the village, my family, and rapping. I hate Leaf and I hate villagers who treat Jinchuriki as trash. My dream has already been fulfilled. So let's skip most introductions. My name is Naruto Uchiha Uzumaki Senju. I am the 9 Tails Jinchuriki and the former son of the 4th Hokage. I like the Cloud Village and Jinchuriki. I despise the Leaf and I will destroy it one day. My dream is to restore my clans and show the world the true power of Uchiha Uzumaki and Senju, not the jokes that they have at Leaf. I mean, look at Tsunade, she doesn't have the wood release and she calls herself Senju. Uzumaki, well, my so-called brother and sister don't even have chakra chains. And Uchiha, that little Sasuke couldn't even unlock his Sharingan yet. Good, so now normally we will do a test, but since you already know teamwork, we will start by doing missions. Over the months, Team Elite, which was Team 1 and 2, had done several B and A rank missions. Naruto's team had gotten a summon. Naruto had gotten the dragon summoning from the land of Whirlpool. Mita had told him to go there to find it. Mita Uzumaki, not Mita Namikaze. By convincing Raikage that all Uzumaki artifacts belonged to him and therefore the Cloud. Fu had found a Phoenix contract from a volcano that they went to in a mission to stop a group of A-rank ninjas from attacking a village. Yuta had gotten the White Tiger contract from the 2 Tails, who was friends with the clan head. B had gotten a Black Tortoise summon by defeating its boss summon in a battle and proving himself worthy. We now see Naruto in the Raikage's office. Team Elite, you have been chosen to enter the tuning exams by your sensei. If you have anything to say it now. Nobody said anything. Good, so the team will be split into 3 mans. Team 1 is our Jinchurikis and Team 2 is Samui, Dari, and Omui. He said. Yes sir, they all shouted. Before you go, all of the Great Five Nations will be competing and Rock wants to join our alliance, so after the second stage, Team Jinchuriki will be accompanying me to the Rock village so we can finalize the agreements. Now you have 2 weeks to train, they said. Yes sir, they said. We now see Naruto training at a mountainside. Above him, a purple portal opens up. Looking up, he sees a heavily injured pale girl falling from the sky. Naruto then flies up using his wind manipulation and catches her. He didn't notice, but the girl was blushing as she snuggled in closer to Naruto's chest. Naruto then landed. Hi, I'm Naruto Uchiha Uzumaki Senju. Who are you and what was that and why were you injured? He asked. Hi, I'm Yaku Osuki and I'm running from some Hyugas who tried to put a caged birdseed on me for refusing to join the clan and marry the Hokage's kid. I then used a portal to escape. Before I managed to escape, they managed to harm me by shooting jutsus and kunais at me, she said, a bit scared. So the stupid leaf shinobis would force a woman to marry someone using seals, Naruto thought, enraged. Well, don't worry about them now. You're in the cloud and this is our territory. They can't come here and you're protected from them now. Yaku then started to blush. Thanks Naruto-kun, she said. So Yaku, who's your parents? Are you a Hyuga? I see that you have a Bakugan, Naruto said. No, I'm actually the sister of the Sage of Six Paths and the daughter of Kage Otsuki, the goddess of chakra. I've been sealed in the moon until recently I just got out after I opened a portal and went to Earth where I landed in Leaf. And the Leaf power hungry shinobi saw me and took me to the Hokage where he tried to sell me to the Hyuga clan. And in return, I would marry Menma because he sensed my high chakra levels. When in Leaf, my life was hell. Menma and the ninja clan boys always tried forcing me to date them. And I refused and then everybody started hating me. They started calling me a bitch and everything. I just wanted to find someone to love me, just like mother told me that people would, but they just hurt me. Menma had always tried to force himself onto me, but I always managed to escape thanks to Anko. Don't worry Yaku, rest, I'll protect you from now, I'll protect you from this Leaf. I hate Leaf as well. I hate the Hyugas and Menma, Naruto said enraged. Yaku then stumbled over as her injuries had not healed yet. Naruto caught her bridal style and took her to the village. So Yaku, if you have this power that Minato wants, how come you weren't able to defend yourself from the Leaf? Naruto asked. Well, when I managed to escape from the moon, it used all my power. I couldn't even use my power. Minato just felt the little bit of power that I had, and once he saw that it went away, he knew that I was weak, so he tried to get his son to marry me. Well, he tried to force me to marry his son. Yaku then fell asleep in Naruto's arms as he carried her to the house. The next morning, Yaku woke up. She then went downstairs to see Naruto. So Yaku, I talked to the Raikage and got you into the village as a citizen. And don't worry, we don't really care if you have the Bakugan, because you're not going to be forced to breed or have any CRA or anything like that, because the Cloud Village isn't like that. And you have the option if you want to be a ninja or anything like that. You can stay as much as you want and this place is secured so Leaf trash can't get in here, Naruto said. Naruto, why do you hate the Leaf so much? I get why I hate them, but what's your reasoning? Yaku asked. Naruto then explained everything to Yaku, his childhood and the neglect and everything. And Yaku then comforted him. Oh yeah, by the way, I'll be going to the Chunin exams, so you will have the house to yourself for the next month or two. Yeah, Naruto said. Oh, okay, please beat Menma and that Hinata for me. Menma tried to force me to be with him and Hinata tried to cage birdseal me so I can be Menma and her slave, Yaku said crying. Naruto then hugged her and said, don't worry Yaku, I'll avenge both of us. I'll avenge what Menma and Mita did to me and I'll avenge what Menma and Hinata did to you. For the next week, Naruto stayed with Yaku, showing her around, taking her on dates and also helping her get used to people. She also helped him by letting him have someone who could share his anger and hatred for Leaf and also comforted him. In Naruto's mindscape, I told you I was right to destroy that place, Hashirama, Madara said. I do regret destroying and killing those people, Kurami said. I don't know. Everything I did, my legacy is all ruined. It's all because of the damn Hyugas, that damn Minato, Hashirama shouted with a mixture of sadness and anger. To think they will resort to forcing someone to get married just for bloodlines and just for power. My legacy has been ruined. Naruto is my only legacy now, Hashirama said as he roared out in rage. Back with Naruto. After hearing Hashirama's breakdown, he vowed to get revenge on Leaf for ruining his grandfather's legacy. Okay, so now we're at the day of the exams. We now see Naruto's team and Samui's team walking down to the Leaf. They are stopped by the gate. Stop, identify yourself and your purpose for being here. B then walked up to the guards and said, "We are here for the Chunin exam. Here's our paper saying that we are allowed." Their eyes widened when they saw Nato's name as the Hokage informed them. "You may enter. Here's your passes," the Chunin said, handing the passes. The Cloud team then proceeded, while wearing masks so the Leaf wouldn't notice Naruto, to go to their hotel. The Cloud team then proceeded to go to the Leaf Academy to their first test. When they got there, they took off their masks and went to the entrance and went into the waiting area. When Naruto was there, he saw the hate on Krishna's face as she looked at him, but there was also a bit of regret and fear. But then B comes and wishes his team luck as they proceeded to walk into the waiting area for the shinobis. He proceeded to walk into the participant waiting area. When they get there, Menma and Mito instantly recognized him as they and the rookies come up to him. "Demon, what are you doing here?" Menma asked. "Why are you here? You should have stayed dead," Mito said. "First of all, Menma, I'm here for the same thing as you, to get a promotion and compete in a Chunin exam to show my village's power. And secondly, Mito, who said I was dead? Oh, the stupid villagers, of course. Those idiots can't let go of grudges." "Don't talk about the Leaf like that. And why did you join that stupid Cloud village that tried to kidnap our mum? Well, my mum," Menma said. "They won't need that bitch of a mother. They have me," Naruto said. As Kabuto then comes over and stops the argument, Naruto then returns to his team. Menma and Mito proceeds to ask Kabuto about them. Kabuto then reads out the bingo book entries and told them that their team has done 0 D ranks, 0 C ranks, 69 B ranks and 25 A rank and 1 S rank. Shocking Menma. How is the demon so strong?" Menma asked. "There's no way he's stronger than my Menma or Sasuke," Hinata, Ino and Sakura said. "That demon is dangerous," Mito said. "He's not that strong, and Uchiha like me can beat that 25% Uchiha," Sasuke said. "Oh really?" Naruto then heard that and said, "Oh really, Sasuke? Your family was Fugaku. Well, guess what, Sasuke? My family was Madara Uchiha, the strongest of the Uchihas. While your father was nothing but a failure. I mean, under his rule, the clan was massacred by his own son, your brother." And Sasuke was pissed off at this. "I can't wait to show the Leaf its place as the weakest of the 5 great nations," Naruto said, laughing, pissing off all the Leaf ninjas, even the Chunins and Jonins that were there. "You dare mock us, demon," Menma said as he started to channel the Kyuubi's chakra. "Yeah, I do, weakling. You're not that strong," Menma said. "Say that when your name's actually in a bingo book and fared throughout the nations, little bitch," Naruto said, shouting up the Leaf shinobi as he unleashed his killing intent. Yo, what's up guys, it's your boy AniZ with part 4 of What If Naruto Was Madara and Hashirama's Reincarnation. Last time we saw Naruto's team and Samui's team enter the Leaf to enter the Chunin exams. They encountered Menma and Mito who tried to antagonize Naruto, but Naruto put them in their places. We now see Ibuki coming out, sensing Naruto's killer intent. "All of you stop this fighting or you'll be disqualified for unauthorized violence," Ibuki said. Naruto stopped releasing his killer intent, remembering the Raikage telling him that if he wanted to show his power to the world, this was his chance, because there will be many visitors at the 3rd stage. Ibuki then went back in, seeing as the situation calmed down, as we now see Kira Torumi run up to Naruto and hug him. "Naruto-kun, I knew you'd make it. You're the strongest here, well apart from me. You're Cloud's strongest and I'm the strongest, but I'm stronger than you," Kira said. "No, he's not the strongest. I'm the strongest. I'm the heir to the Namikaze, the strongest clan here right now. And I'm the son of the Yellow Flash," Menma said. Kira just looked at him blankly and turned to Naruto. "Naruto can tell that loser I don't want to speak to him. I don't speak to weaklings that rely on their dad's name." Menma hearing this got pissed off. "Listen here, you Miss Trash. Your weak village can't do shit. All it has achieved in the past year is fighting against themselves," Menma said, pissing off Kira. "Well, what has Leaf achieved?" "Oh, I know, nearly getting destroyed by the Nine Tails," Kira said, quieting Menma. "Enough!" shouted Ibuki, appearing out of nowhere. "It's time for the test," he said. So for the first part of the exam, Naruto just used the Sharingan to copy down the answers. So we're now going to move on to the Forest of Death. The introduction goes to as canon as Anko explains the test, but Menma gets hit by Anko instead of Naruto. "Start!" Anko yelled. Suddenly Naruto, Yugito and Fu all entered their Biji forms and surrounded the genin. Samui and Kira's team then came up to them smiling. Everyone was scared. One wrong move and they could all die. "All of you, give your scrolls to Samui now, or we'll launch a Biji Dharma destroying this whole forest, taking you out," Naruto said. "You damn demon, you can't do this," Menma shouted. "Yeah, it's not fair," Mito said. Naruto then grabbed Menma and Mito and started crushing them. Menma and Mito screamed out in pain as they begged Naruto to let them go. Naruto then tightened his grip. "Please, Naruto, please, let us go, Mama said. Naruto, here's the scroll, just let us go, Mita said, as she dropped the scroll towards Samui. Naruto then threw them on the ground as they landed and started bleeding. Hand over your scrolls or you're next, Naruto yelled as all the Genin handed over their scrolls. Samui and Fu's team grabbed all the scrolls as they started burning the scrolls they never needed. Gaara looked at their direction in fear. Shukaku was afraid of the Cloud Ninjas. He said that he can't beat them because they had stronger tailed beasts under their control. Samui and Fu's team then jumped onto Naruto as they headed towards the tower, leaving everyone in fear. After the Biji left, Anka came out and said, well, we're gonna give you all a second batch of scrolls, but don't lose them this time, this is your last chance. We now go on to Naruto's point of view. Naruto's team arrived to the tower and exited the tailed beast mode. Yo, why did you enter the Biju mode? They were weak compared to you, Killer Bee said. We were ordered to show our power, Naruto said, as Bee then nodded. They then entered the tower where Krishna ran up to slap Naruto, but Naruto bitch slapped her, sending her flying into the wall. Don't touch me, bitch, Naruto said. How dare you hit me, demon? You showed your true colors, didn't you? You attacked my innocent children for no reason at all, Krishna said. That was my tail beast mode, an ability a true Jinchuriki can only unlock. Not those pathetic children that you have. But I wouldn't expect a failure of a Jinchuriki like you to understand, or anyone in Leaf in general to understand, because you lot can never become friends with your tail beast and can never unlock this power, Naruto said, pissing off all the Leaf Shinobi. Well done, Naruto, since this is my village, you're disqualified, Minato said. Yo, if Naruto's disqualified unjustly, then Cloud would declare war on this weak village, and with 4 perfect Jinchurikis and an alliance with Mist, you don't stand a chance. So if I were you, I would let Naruto participate, or else you're all gonna die, Killer Bee said. Yeah, and don't forget that you're the one that made the rules that saying that Biju chakras allowed, others your little kids wouldn't be able to use that as well, Naruto said. Fine, Naruto can compete then, Minato said. See, Minato, this is what the Leaf is, weak. They can't even beat us Cloud Ninjas, and you're the worst Hokage. Under your rule, Leaf has went from the number 1 great nation to the number 5 great nation. They're the weakest of all the great 5 nations, Naruto said, laughing. Krishna looked at Naruto with anger. How dare Naruto put Minato in his place? She went up to Naruto only to be stopped by Minato. Stop, we can't do this right now. We'll get him back later on one day, Minato said. Fine, Krishna said. Alright, so we're now going to skip 5 days. Okay, we now see Minato coming up to the stage. I would like to congratulate all that have made it here, he said, glaring at Naruto. But since there are too many people, we'll be holding the preliminaries. Then the proctor came up and started explaining the rules. Okay, since we have too many people, one person will have to go twice. Would you like to volunteer or should we pick it by random? Naruto then put his hand up. I will. Minato, not thinking twice, agreed with it. Finally, we could get that demon out, Minato said. All the fights happened to canon, with Menma facing Kiba and winning with a fart, while Mito faced some random ninja and won. The Cloud team and Kira all faced random ninjas and made it. However, Gaara and Neji faced each other, and Gaara crushed Neji. We now have the last 2 matches, Naruto vs Hinata, and the winner will face Rock Lee to get into the finals. So it was now Hinata vs Naruto. Start, the proctor said. So this is Hinata, the one who tried to make poor Yaruko's life a living hell by making her Menma's slave. I will make her suffer for that, Naruto thought. Hinata then came up and went like, I will show you your place, you peasant. You are a slave to the Namikaze clan. You should have just stayed there and become a branch member while your brother and sister ruled upon the Namikaze and Uzumaki clan. But no, you decided to defy fate, and you cannot defy fate. A no-name like you shouldn't even battle, Hinata said. Oh, so the Hyuga clan's failure will show me, a SSS rank ninja on par with Madara and Hashirama GG, my place. Come on then, show me, Naruto said, activating his Mangekyo Sharingan as Hinata activated the Byakugan. The Byakugan has always been better than the Sharingan. Now the world shall see, Hinata said. Ha! The Sharingan can easily destroy the Byakugan. I mean, do you even have a Mangekyo stage? The next stage? Nah, your dojutsus are weak, Naruto said. How does he have the Mangekyo? Krishna said. How does the Dobe have that? Those eyes should be mine, Sasuke yelled, ripping his hair off. Hinata then charged at Naruto using the 64 palms, but Naruto countered with his hands blocking her palms. Hinata thought she landed it. What? How? Hinata said. My Sharingan allows me to see your attacks before you hit them, and I just blocked your strikes before you could land them, Naruto said. He's amazing, Kakashi yelled. To master the Sharingan at this degree, at this age, even I never had that kind of control. Keiten, Hinata yelled as she started spinning. "You can't beat this. This is the ultimate defense of the Hyuga clan," Hinata yelled. Naruto then started to laugh. "The ultimate defense? You call that the ultimate defense? Let me show you the ultimate defense." "Susanoo," Naruto said, as he was surrounded in a purple aura that took the shape of a beast. "What the hell is that?" Hinata yelled. "What is this? Is this the power of the Sharingan?" Sasuke yelled. "Never seen this before." Unknown to the Konoha shinobi, Sasuke was secretly voting for Naruto to win because Hinata dissed the Sharingan, the Uchiha clan's pride possession. He would hurt Hinata after this, Sasuke thought to himself. "This bitch is the ultimate defense. Only someone with a Sharingan at its ultimate level can achieve," Naruto said, showing off his Susanoo as he then used the Susanoo blade to cut off Hinata's arm. Hinata screamed out in pain as Naruto started to stomp on her. "Stop it," Menma yelled. "Stop touching my girlfriend like that." "She's had enough," Mito said. "You've proved your point, demon. Stop it. Stop hurting an innocent soul," Kushina said. Naruto then stopped the Susanoo and put Hinata under Itachi's genjutsu, where she saw her mother dying over and over, and then where she was getting what she planned to do with Yaruko done to her by some fat ugly man. "That's for hurting Yaruko-chan for no reason," Naruto thought to himself. Naruto hated the Leaf, and anybody from the Leaf that hurt someone innocent, Naruto would hurt and torture. "Winner, Naruto," the proctor said, looking at Naruto with anger. "How dare this little demon hurt the Hyuga clan princess and Menma's wife?" "Can the next person come down?" the proctor said. Lee came down enraged. "I will avenge you, Naruto. How dare you do that to someone so innocent?" Lee said. "Whatever you say, you weirdo. Get your drip fixed," Naruto said, pissing off Lee. Is pissing off Leaf ninjas really that easy?" Naruto said. "Start," the proctor yelled. Lee then starts to throw a barrage of punches at Naruto, who dodges them all. He then punched Lee, sending him flying into a wall. "Lee, drop your weights," Guy said as Lee dropped his weights. Lee then charged at Naruto with 4 or 5 times more speed, throwing a barrage of punches at Naruto again. Naruto still dodges without any effort. "What? How is this possible?" Lee said. "You're using your demonic powers to cheat, aren't you?" "Yeah, he's using his demonic powers," Sakura yelled. Is that all? Is that all you can say? I have demonic powers? No, this is your strength. This is the results of your training. You are weak, Naruto said, as he started to throw a barrage of punches at Lee, making him bleed. He then dodged a desperate punch from Lee and kicked him away. "Lee, do it," Guy yelled. "Be honored, demon. You're the first person to push me this far in a real fight that isn't a spar." "Fifth gate open," Lee yelled, as the wind sent everybody flying back, apart from Naruto and the Jonin, and Naruto's team and Samui's team and Kira's team, who used chakra to stick to the floor. "Oh, so this is the power of the gates. Let's see what you could do," Naruto said, activating the second Tomoe Sharingan. "Here, I'll show you the second of the Sharingan." "Yeah, that's right. I was even using my Mangekyo against you. I was only using level of the Sharingan. You were that weak. The only reason I used it against Hinata was because she had the Bakugan, and I wanted to prove that the Sharingan was the superior dojutsu," Naruto said. "Why you?" Lee screamed. Naruto then charged to Lee, kneeing him in the face. Then he used his elbow to hit Lee in the nose, making him bleed. He then elbowed Lee in the face again. He then kneed him in the stomach. Lee then used Lion's Barrage, but Naruto took it unfazed. Naruto then kicked him away. "Fire style, majestic destroyer flame," Naruto said, as he sent a wave of fire destroying the building, and the Jonin had to protect the Genin. When the smoke cleared, you see Lee was burnt up near death. He could not be a ninja after this. Not even Tsunade will be able to heal him. "Is that all you got? I thought you would make me pay. Looks like you're a disappointment," Naruto said. "Oh, the power of the gates is such a joke. I bet you could even use them properly. Maybe your sensei could have given me a better challenge." He then walked past Kushina and Minato, Menma and Mito. He then smiled, pissing them off. "Winner, Naruto." "Naruto, that was unnecessary," Minato said. "Mind your own business, Hokage. I'm not your ninja, so you don't tell me what to do. As long as I don't cheat, I could do anything I want. Even kill your stupid little brats in the next tournament," Naruto said. "The tuning exams will continue after a month. Come and pick your number so that we can fight," the proctor said, ignoring Naruto and Minato's conversation. So the fights are Naruto vs Menma and Mito, Sasuke vs Gaara, Yukuto vs Fu, Samui vs Shikamaru, and Temari vs Omoi. Those were the matchups. Naruto looked at Menma and Mito and grinned. "Finally, I will have revenge," Naruto said. They were then dismissed as Naruto and Samui's team along with Kira's team went to meet the Kages. Once they met with the Kages, they were told that they were going to go to the Land of Stone because the Rock wanted to join the alliance between the Cloud, the Mist, and the smaller nations that Naruto had helped them get an alliance with. When they arrived, they were greeted by the Tsuchikage. Raikage, Mizukage, let us discuss the agreements of this alliance, Onoki said. The Raikage and Mizukage nodded as they settled down on the agreement. Naruto, hearing one of the terms of the agreement, grinned. He then smiled. He was never so happy. He started laughing a bit, making people think he was mentally insane. But then people just got over it. The Raikage then called up Naruto under the request of Onoki. So you're the ex-son of Minato and the heir of Madara and Hashirama, Onoki said. I am, Naruto said. Do you feel any conflict going against the Leaf? Onoki said. No, I despise them. I despise them more than anything in this world. They're nothing but hypocrites who deserve to die, Naruto said with anger in his eyes, which Onoki could see was genuine and real. Very well, Raikage, that's all. He could be trusted, Onoki said. We now see Naruto's team and Samui's team and Kira's team all returning to the Leaf Village. It had been a month since the rut. He didn't need to train because he was strong enough. On the way there, they were greeted by Woody. I destroyed Dando's eyes as you ordered and also ripped off his arms, Woody said. Good, did you bring what I ordered? Naruto said. Yes, my lord, they're here. Hashirama and Madara cells are all here. Did you get a jutsu from the snake that we wanted and what did it cost? Naruto asked. I gave him Sasuke after knocking him out and then he gave us the Edo Tensei, but Sasuke managed to escape, Woody said. Good, now the time for my revenge has begun, Naruto said. Yo, what's up guys, it's your boy Anizi back at it with What If Naruto Was Madara and Hashirama's Reincarnation Part 5. So guys, where we last left off was Naruto destroying Lee and Hinata and then going to Rock so that they can discuss the plans. So we now begin at this Chunin exam stadium. The villagers have come to see the demon get his ass handed to him by the saviors of the village, the prince and princess known as Memma and Mito. We now see Minato flash down and say, ladies and gentlemen, the annual Chunin exam starts now. The proctor then comes down and explains the rules and then says the first round participants come as Memma and Mito and Naruto then come down. The villagers cheer for Memma and Mito and boo at the demon, but Naruto doesn't care. Look demon, nobody thinks you can win, Memma said. Oh, I wouldn't expect anything less from the members of the dumbest and weakest village. Of course, they're gonna think some unknown ninjas like you two can be a SSS rank ninja who's killed more shinobis than this entire village combined brain cells, Naruto said. The villagers then got pissed off but couldn't do shit because the Fire Lord was there and he would not have anyone ruining the exam. So we have the Hokage's children vs the so-called Madara and Hashirama's legacy, the proctor said. Are both sides ready? The proctor then asked. Both sides nodded as the proctor then began the match. Start, the proctor said. Memma Mito rushed to Naruto using the Nine-Tails chakra, trying to hit him with taijutsu. Naruto then dodges and starts to fight back, every punch making Memma and Mito bleed. Memma Mito then used substitution to get away. Is that all the children of the 4th Hokage and the student of the legendary Sannin can do? Attack like mad animals and run when they are outclassed? Everyone not from Leaf starts to laugh. How dare you, demon? First you attacked the village and now you take our bloodlines. Dad told us, Memma said. Oh, so your dad told you? F your weak dad. He wouldn't even last a second against Madara, Hashirama or me. He's a failure. He couldn't even unlock the Sharingan. Just like you two, Naruto said, mocking them. Memma and Mito got pissed as they called forth their own 4 tails each. Where did Minato and Krishna? Ha 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 ha. Serves the demon right. His own power will kill him, Minato said. Yeah, and then our children will be known as the one who defeated the so-called true goddess Shinobi and also the demon, the QB itself, Krishna said. Back to the fight. Memma and Mito charged at Naruto, who just dodged. He then kicked Mito into Memma and then used Wood Style Wood Dragon Jutsu to knock Memma and Mito out of the 4 tails. Is that all? A single jutsu and you're knocked out of the 9 tails power, Naruto said. Why you, Memma Mito said as they made a hand sign and summoned a giant slug and told. Why have you summoned me here, Gaki? This better be good, Gamabunta said. Lady Mito, how can I help you? Katsuyu said. Attack the demon, both Memma and Mito said. As you wish, Katsuyu said. Find and Gaki, Gamabunta said. Fire Style, Wind Style, Toad and Slug, Collaboration Jutsu, both summons said as the flames went straight towards Naruto. Wood Style, Wood Wall, Naruto said as the wall took the damage for Naruto. Is that all the so-called strongest summons can do, Naruto said. What do you mean, Gaki? We are the strongest of the summons, Gamabunta said with arrogance as Katsuyu agreed. Oh, so you're the strongest, right? Don't make me laugh. Let's see how you compare to my summon. Your summon? What is it, an ant? I mean, you are an ant compared to us. Disgrace, Memma said as the Leaf started to laugh. Naruto got angry. This weakling disgrace called him a disgrace. Naruto then did the summoning jutsu. Suddenly the whole stage went silent as the laughing stopped. Out of the smoke came a giant dragon. The Leaf summons were scared. Lord Acnologia, we didn't know that you were his summon. Oh, why are you acting like this now, Toad? I thought you said you were the strongest of all summons. My team has the 4 legendary summons and you say that your summons are the strongest in in the world. Prove it by beating my summon, the strongest of the 4 legendary summons, Naruto shouted.
What, Gamabunta, you dare speak such lies?
Acnologia roared as he flew straight towards Gamabunta and Tatsuyu, who was scared to move, and with a single swipe of his claw eliminated them, sending them back to the summon world. Acnologia then looked at the crowd of Leaf and said that
these are the power of your so-called most strongest summons. They were the weakest of the summoning realm. They were easily influenced by humans. My summoner had to defeat me to become my summoner, while your summons gave you their contract for free.
The Leaf looked scared. The secret summons were defeated by the Demon Brat, and the crowd summons were dry and snarly. They were shaking in fear and rage, angry that the demon made their partners look like jokes, but they were scared. The 4 legendary summons, they had powers equal to a Biju, and they were now in the hands of the cloud. With Minato and Krishna, Minato was enraged that his part was made a fool of in front of everyone, and his children were embarrassed. Krishna was shocked. Her clan summon had chosen the demon instead of her and her children. She was angry, but she felt guilty at the same time. Back at the fight. What? Demon, I demand you give me that contract as the son of the 4th Hokage and the child of prophecy, Mema said. Naruto and Acnologia looked at each other and started to laugh. Naruto and Acnologia fell on the floor as they started to roll about. The non-Leaf citizens started to laugh at the audacity of this child. Mema got angry. They were mocking him. Mema caught Naruto off guard, who was busy laughing at him rolling on the floor, and hit him. Suddenly, Naruto poofed away. Then realization struck Mema. They had been fighting a clone the whole time. Mito was shocked as well. The crowd was shocked and silent when they heard someone clapping. Then they saw Naruto appear out of nowhere. So, you finally managed to beat my clone, Naruto said mockingly. We were fighting a clone the entire time. No way, Mema said, his legs giving out as he dropped to his knees. Mito also dropped to her knees. She looked at Naruto in fear. No way, she said. Look at your so-called saviors, Leaf. They're on their knees in front of me, the so-called demon. Just from a small display of my power. They weren't even able to touch me until I dropped my guard letting them touch me. You are weak. This is what the 4th Hokage, the Red Death and the last loyal Sanins trained. Pathetic, Naruto said. Everyone was silent, and then they heard Hinata scream, Mema-kun, you could do it. You promised you'd avenge me. Mito and Mema, don't you dare give up. For the village you must win, a Leaf citizen started shouting. That's right, we can't give up, Mema and Mito said as they activated their Sage mode. You will lose here, demon, they shouted as they charged towards Naruto. Acnologia was about to defend Naruto, but Naruto ordered him to stand down. Naruto then activated his Sharingan and dodged all their attacks. He then kicked them back to the floor. So that's your Sage mode. Allow me to show you mine. Wood style, Wood Sage mode. Impossible, he could use Sage mode without a summon, Dry said. No way, Snardy said. How's this possible? He was meant to be a failure, Minato said. It can't be, Krishna said. Back to the fight. Naruto attacked Mema and Mito easily, overpowering them. Naruto then kicked Mito to the ground. Naruto then grabbed Mema and said, I heard how you treated a certain girl that's forced to run away because of you. Who are you talking about? No, you can't mean Yako, that bitch. She ran to you. She should have just accepted her fate as mine, but she ran to you, the demon, instead of me, the son of the 4th Hokage. Mema yelled, losing it. The demon always took away what was his. Mema then started going over the limit of the seal, pulling more and more Nine-Tails chakra into him. He started to feel the burning feeling in his body, but he powered through it. Mema nearly punched Naruto, but Naruto's Sharingan let him see Mema's punch. Naruto then kneed Mema in the balls and grabbed him by the foot and spun him and threw him into Mito. Naruto then made thousands of wood clones and said, the match has been quite unfair, the 2 of you against me, so how about we make this even more unfair? We're not scared of a few clones, Mito said. Or really, tell me, should these clones use Susanoo or not? You think that we're jokes? Go ahead, Demon, Mema said. Well then, don't say I didn't warn you and I never gave you a choice, Naruto said as all his clones got the Susanoo. The Leaf citizens were in fear, knowing that just one Susanoo could take on a Biju, but Naruto had thousands. Impossible, was the words of Minato, Jiraiya, Krishna and Snardy. All the Susanoo then charged towards Mema and Mito, throwing them around like a ball. In fact, they were playing a game of volleyball with Mito's body and Mema's body as well, until Naruto got bored and walked up to a barely conscious Mema and formed a Susanoo blade, bringing it down on him. He then cut off Mema's pole, slicing it off, and then he proceeded to rip Mema's balls using the Susanoo arm. That's for Yaku, never touch her again. You disgrace to a male, Naruto said. Proctor, call the match or I'll kill them, Naruto said. After a few minutes of waiting in silence, Naruto then used the Wood Star Wood Dragon and sent it to Mema and Mito. but Minato appeared, saving Menma and Mito. What's the meaning of this, demon? You could have waited. It was just that everybody was in shock, Minato said. Well, fourth Hokage, I'm an impatient guy, but you wouldn't know that, since you're the worst father in anime history, Naruto said. In what history, Minato said? Oh, don't worry, that's for main characters to know and for side characters like you to fuck off, Naruto said. So am I the winner or not, or do I need to command my clones to destroy this village until you declare me the winner? Minato then looked at Naruto in fear and said, fine, you win. Naruto laughed as he walked off, but before he walked off, he said one thing. You are pathetic, and walked away. Now we see Sasuke getting destroyed by Gaara. Sasuke only had the one Tomori. Suddenly an explosion was heard in the Kage booth. Naruto's team looked towards the Rock team and nodded.
Yo, what's up guys, it's your boy Aniziwid. The next part of What If Naruto was Madara and Hashirama's reincarnation, which is part 6. So guys, in the last episode, we saw Naruto beat Menma and Mito, and then we saw Sasuke get destroyed by Gaara since he didn't have Indra in him, so he wasn't a prodigy. And then there was an explosion. We now see Team Cloud running to the center of the village, killing Leaf Shinobi on the way. When they arrived, Naruto made a wood clone and sent it with a team so that they can help destroy the village, while Naruto ran to the Kage booth. He activated his Sharingan and used his dream ability to get through the barrier unsensible. Meanwhile, with Naruto's clone Yugito and Fu had started to channel their Beiju chakra as the Leaf Shinobi tried to stop them. But Samui, Omui and Kari defended the Beiju host as they were easily elite joining level. Suddenly, a giant raccoon was seen in the distance as all the Leaf Shinobi rushed towards it to help save the village, forgetting about Team Beiju. Naruto's clone Fu and Yugito all turned into their Beiju forms as another explosion was heard and we see Killer Bee in his 8 tails form. Team Beiju attack all the Leaf's weak points like the water dams, weapons and food storages and destroy the village, Killer Bee ordered as the Leaf Shinobi were shitting themselves. They had just seen the Nine Tails bat transforming into Nine Tails with backup from several other villages. Beiju. Demon, you will protect us. You're the Nine Tails, you belong to us and only us. The Leaf Village, Leaf Jonin said. Naruto and Kurama started to laugh. Is this how Leaf Shinobi beg? Well, too bad. I belong to Cloud, Naruto said, as Naruto looked at them with the Sharingan blazing. You think I belong to Leaf? Don't make me laugh. Your strongest ninja is Hashirama Gigi, and I could go head to head with him if I wanted to. But Minato, your current leader, would get wrecked by me. I mean, Madara Gigi did disown him. He was just a half-breed. But even if he was a half-breed, he couldn't even unlock the Sharingan. I'm a third Uchiha, and I have it. Even Sasuke, who's 100% hasn't even unlocked it. He's probably one of the civilian Uchihas, Naruto said as Naruto started to laugh. Don't mock the Lord Hokage and the Lord Uchiha, demon. A Jonin said, firing a fireball jutsu at him as Naruto used his Kurama avatar and just flicked the fireball away towards the Leaf Ninja, killing them. Naruto continues to destroy the village as another explosion is heard and the 5 and 6 tails also appeared. But this time they go to the civilians in the shelters and start slaughtering them. With the real Naruto is hopping from tree to tree, getting to the Kage booth, where he sees Might Guy facing A, Kakashi facing Mizukage, Krishna facing Onaki, and Minato against Orochimaru. Naruto was kinda confused. Wasn't it meant to be Rasa who was fighting? But oh well, we'll adapt, Naruto thought. You can see the Leaf was barely winning thanks to Guy in the 6th gate, Krishna's chakra chains holding down Onaki, and Kakashi using his stolen Sharingan against A, which made Naruto's blood boil. This non-Uchiha was using Khan's bloodline ability. Damn copy ninja, stealing out the Jutsu Naruto thought to himself, letting Madara's influence get to him. Orochimaru then does a few hand signs as 2 grades rise. This was the 2nd and 3rd Hokage. For some reason, he couldn't raise the 1st Hokage. How dare you, Orochimaru, Minato said as Orochimaru laughed. Minato, did you really think I wouldn't have anything planned to beat you, Orochimaru said. Krishna got angry as red chakra seeped out of her. The bastard summoned her granduncle. Naruto laughed. How dare you, scum! How dare you summon my granduncle, Krishna said, as Minato placed a seal on her, stopping the scraps of Nine Tails chakra that was leaving her, or she would die. Stop, Krishna-chan. You'll die if you continue, Minato said. Fine, Krishna said, calming down, as she rushed towards Orochimaru, whilst Naruto took care of Oniki. I'll best you, you snake, she said, as the Leaf Shinobi were now outclassed thanks to the 2nd and 3rd Hokage beating on them. Suddenly, Minato sensed a kunai coming towards him. He dodged. He then saw the kunai was a Hiroshin kunai. He was confused. No one else knew the Hiroshin. It was only him. Maybe Tobirama, but Tobirama was right in front of him fighting as Naruto appeared on the battlefield. Naruto, how do you know my technique? Minato yelled. Yours? It's not yours. It belonged to great-grand-uncle Tobirama. I stole it from you, just like how you stole it from my family, you Uchiha disgrace. Naruto said, pissing off Minato for reminding him that Madara disowned him and that Naruto thinks that he's a thief and also calling him a disgrace just like Madara. Why you, Minato said, aiming for Naruto, who dodged and kicked him to the ground. He then put his foot on Minato's head. Now then, father, am I strong now? Why didn't you hurt me now? Why didn't you call me demon now? Why didn't you tell me that I'm weak? Or I'm a disgrace just like you and Krishna, bitch. Mito and that Menma bastard did before. Naruto said, laughing. I will make fun of them all I want. That's what the weak and arrogant like you and the rest of Leaf are made to be. You were made to be shown your place on the ground, right under me, Naruto said. Naruto suddenly sensed some chakra chains coming towards him. Naruto then uses wood release to stop them, wrapping wood around Krishna, having her in the kneeling position. As Naruto did the same to everyone that was not on their side. Oniki was about to go and destroy Minato, Krishna and the Leaf Shinobis with particle release, but Naruto stopped them. I have some people that want to meet you, Minato Namikaze, as Naruto activated his Rinnegan. How do you have those eyes, demon? You ain't the child of prophecy, Jiraiya said. I was born with these eyes. These are the final stage of the Sharingan that can only be achieved when Ashura and Indra's chakra mix. But since I'm both their reincarnations, I have the Rinnegan, Naruto said. Who's Ashura and Indra? Jiraiya asked as the toads were scared. Jiraiya, those two are the Sage of Six Stars' son. How do you know them, boy? Only we summon know of them, the toads asked. I told you already, didn't I? Wait, what did I tell you again? Oh, that's right. I'm the reincarnation. Of course I know, you stupid little toads. This story doesn't end there. Before they were reincarnated into me, they were reincarnated into the people you know as Madara Uchiha, Minato Namikaze, your father. Unlike you, he was actually a god's reincarnation. And also, Hashirama Senju, Krishna Uzumaki, Tsunade Senju. Yes, he too was a god's reincarnation, unlike you failures. And like my grandfathers, I am the reincarnation of both of them, which means I have the potential to surpass both Madara and Hashirama. And let's just say, you will never be on my level. So, now guess what I'm going to do? Since the sage allowed me to talk to Madara and Hashirama where they trained me when I was a kid, well then, you're gonna be facing Madara and Hashirama, GG, to tell them what you've done to me. And let me tell you, they're really angry. And Jiraiya, that's how I got really strong. Anyway, now, before we do this, Jiraiya bastard, repeat the prophecy that you said. Well, I'll kill Tsunade with my wood release as Naruto began to strangle her. Okay. The prophecy is, the child of the yellow flash and the red death shall be trained by legends and restore peace to the land. I think they're your siblings because they have the 9 toes and they're trained by us legendary Sannin. Naruto couldn't help but laugh. The Mizukage, Raikage and Tsuchikage couldn't help but laugh either. First, the title legendary Sannin is all 3 Sannins, not 2, which also includes Orochimaru over there. Orochimaru started to laugh as well. And secondly, you really think the legendary Sannin can even touch the great Madara Uchiha and the Hashirama who trained me? Naruto said. You're lying. You're still that attention-seeking little brat trying to get approval. So you're lying about being trained by Lord First and the ghost of Uchiha. I must admit, you having the Rinnegan is something. But still, if you have the Rinnegan, then your siblings must have it as well, Jiraiya said. You think I'm lying? Fine then. Let's test that, Naruto said, as he got angry and he brought out 2 scrolls and summoned Hashirama and Madara's body. Rinne rebirth, Naruto said, as they started to come back to life. You monster, Tsunade yelled as she was slapped in the face by Hashirama. So was Krishna. You stupid little bitches, you dare call yourself my descendants? You who abuse a child for saving the village, for keeping all of you alive. You're a disgrace to Mito, who also held the soul of the Biju and the chakra of one as well. And Krishna, you also held the soul, yet you condemn your own son. You are no longer accepted as Senju. Neither are you, Tsunade. I disown you, Hashirama said as Krishna and Tsunade started to cry. Madara went up to Minato and started to beat him black and blue. So, you're my failure of a son. You couldn't even activate the Sharingan, which is why I abandoned you, disgrace. Not only do you abuse and neglect a child, one of your kids who has the Sharingan and the Mokuton, who should be the person you care about the most in the world, you neglect. If anything, I disown you from Uchiha. I disown you as a son, Madara said. Meanwhile, Oniki was laughing. He couldn't help but laugh at seeing Minato cry. But it didn't stop there. Hashirama walks up to Minato. So you're the one that ruined my grandkid's life. You're the one that sealed the 9 toes into him, which isn't bad. But what you did next was mad. You made him out to be a villain. For no good reason. Your whore of a wife was also a demon. Because she held the soul, didn't she? I think not. You, Minato Namikaze, are hereby removed from Hokage. As Hashirama did some hand signs and a seal appeared on Minato. Suddenly, everyone in Konoha felt hate for Minato. Naruto was laughing. Oh yeah, by the way, Gigi, this little bastard Jiraiya is saying that you never trained me. Could you please confirm to him that I was trained by you? Naruto said as both Madara and Hashirama nodded. Well, Jiraiya, would you look at that? Looks like I wasn't lying after all. Well then, it's time to finish this, Naruto said. Have your forces left yet? Naruto turned towards the Kages and asked, as the Kages nodded. Good, Naruto said as one of his eyes reverted to the Mangekyo Sharingan. Naruto then used wood release at a great scale to hold every leaf citizen in place. Naruto then formed a Susanoo and he did a pull gesture like he was pulling something. Suddenly the sky became black, everybody's eyes widened, they were scared. It seems the end is near, looks like our failure will finally be destroyed, Hashirama, Madara said. Yeah Madara, it seems our only grandchild will fix our mistakes, Hashirama said. Naruto, no, don't, Kushina yelled. Naruto, this is your home, don't do this, Minato yelled. Naruto, the prophecy, don't, Jiraiya said. Brat, stop, you'll send you. Leaf is our legacy, Tsunade said. Oni-chan, stop. We can still be family, Mita said from far away. Please, Lord Naruto, stop, the Leaf citizens said, trying to break out the wooden restraint so they can run away, as Naruto casted a Susanoo on the allied Kage. If you do survive, which most of you won't be able to do, then your village will be gone, Naruto said, as the meteors start to fall quicker and quicker. Naruto Namikaze, as your father, I order you to stop this foolishness, Minato said, as the meteor came down even faster when he said that. Naruto, are you mad? What are you doing? You're going to destroy it all, Kushina said. Stop this, everyone from Leaf yelled. Suddenly Naruto's Susanoo was hit by Tsunade, but it didn't break. It wasn't even dented. Oh, so you broke out your wooden restraints. I wonder if that has something to do with you being Senju, Naruto said. Yeah, now I Senju will stop you, or at least take you down with us, Tsunade said as she tried to break the Susanoo, but her efforts ended in failure. You call yourself a Senju, but you're nothing. Oh, so now it's Lord Naruto. I thought it was Demon Konoha Shinobi. You're the fakest people alive, Naruto said as the meteor connected with the village. But before the meteor connected, Tsunade did some hand signs. The smoke cleared to see only the allied Kage and Naruto lived. But soon more dust cleared and Naruto got a look of anger. Several slugs with several humans in them. But the humans he saw pissed him off. They were the rookies, the Sannin and the Hokage. And also the Hokage's wife. Naruto was about to advance forward to kill them, but was stopped by Hashirama. Leave them to suffer. Just use your Sharingan's dream ability to take away their chakra, Hashirama said. But Madara disagreed. Hashirama, let the kid kill them, Madara said. No, he shouldn't. He shouldn't have to kill his family because deep down, a small part of him will still love them. And even if he hates them, he'll still be mentally affected by what he does, Hashirama said.
Yo, what's up guys? It's your boy AniZ with What If Naruto Was the Reincarnation of Madara and Hashirama Part 7. So guys, we last left off at Naruto and the Cloud along with the Rock and Mist villages, joining the Sound and Sand in destroying the Leaf village. Naruto destroyed Minato and his allies, while also reviving Madara and Hashirama to break the Leaf village. He then dropped a meteor on them, so let's get started. I've decided to let you live for now, Minato. You and the survivors shall live in regret for ever crossing me, as your village has now perished. The Leaf is no more. The stain on my grandfather's legacies have been removed, Naruto says. Naruto and the Kages then saw the survivors of Leaf glaring at Naruto. How could you destroy your own village, Oni-chan? Mito says. You took everything. First my ability to reproduce, then my pride by beating me and my future wife Hinata, and finally my dream to become Hokage by destroying our village, Menma says, charging at Naruto, who stood there as Madara came in between them and caught his fist. Don't you dare touch my grandson, you disgrace. I can't believe that you are part descendant of mine and Hashirama, Madara yelled, punching him in the face, making him bleed, and then proceeded to beat him and then stomp on his face. Stop it, Hinata yelled as she tried to rush towards Madara until Hashirama made the woods appear and trip her over. Naruto woke up to her. Oi ho, you're the one that hurt Yaku-chan and tried to force her to be your slave with that stupid bitch that you call her husband. I will never forgive you, he says as he reached for her eyes, yanking them out. He then grabbed some pepper and started to squeeze it on her eyes, making her burn. Ah, stop, she yelled, as Menma also pleaded for him to stop, but Naruto just slapped Menma in the face, as Naruto then grabbed the kunai and started stabbing her on her chakra points. You Hyugas really like hurting other people's chakra points. Let's see how you like it when you're hurt. Naruto then pulled out a hammer and started to beat her afterwards. Ow, stop. Naruto, stop this. As your mother, I demand you to stop, Kushina says. Naruto, if you don't stop this, I'll kill you, Minato says. You kill me? Are you mad? Naruto says. As when she was about to die, Naruto healed her, making her almost perfectly healed. You know, I got a perfect way to punish you. You wanted to use Yaku-chan as a breeding tool, right? So we'll do the same for you. The Cloud always wanted a Bakugan, and I'm not gonna force Yaku-chan to breed baby after baby, so
Let's take you, Naruto says as Ace smiles. Naruto, you won't take her, Minato yelled as Naruto kicked him in the balls. Krishna's chain came towards Naruto as he dodged it, grabbed the chains and wrapped it around Minato's neck as he used his dream ability to make every leaf faint of chakra exhaustion. Naruto then grabbed Hinata and took her to the cloud before muttering, "You lot are so weak and pathetic. I can't believe that I actually thought of you as a threat," Naruto says. "When I was a kid," he added on in his head, as the Kages then left to their villages. We now see Naruto in the cloud as Ai, the Raikage, was in the tower looking at Naruto, who had tied up Hinata with him. He was aged up thanks to Naruto's dream ability. "Naruto, not only did you win us the invasion and show that the cloud is the strongest and that the leaf is the weakest, but you also helped us to secure a Hyuga. That too, a Hyuga without the caged bird seal. Good work, my boy," Ace says. "Thanks, Raikage-sama. Now, let's go and take her to see her punishment," Naruto says, as Naruto took her to a prison where there were lots of men waiting for her, as the Raikage stepped up and says, "Oh, I'm gonna enjoy doing this," as he unzipped. Okay, so now we go into Naruto's point of view, who's now walking back to his mansion as he met up with Fu and Yaku. Yaku, who's cleaning the house. "Oh, Naruto-kun," Yaku says, blushing. "I saw what you did for me at the tuning exams through the live broadcast. Thank you," she says, as she shyly hugged him. "Yaku-chan, you're sweet and innocent. Those bastards tried to force you for power. I cannot let that stand. I would never let anyone innocent be forced to do anything that they don't like. And especially that disgusting village leaf. I'll destroy them. Well, actually, I've destroyed them. Now we can relax and you can live happy knowing that you're safe," Naruto says. "So Naruto-kun, I have a question. I want to thank you by taking you out to eat," Yaku says, blushing. Naruto started to blush as he went like, oh, of course, as Fu started to laugh, breaking the two lovers out of their daze. She then came up to Naruto and hugged him. "You were so cool, big brother. The way you beat those bastard Hokages and his wife and his Sanins, and then summoned Madara and Hashirama Gigi to beat them," she said, as she considered Hashirama and Madara her grandfathers as well, because Naruto's her brother. As Naruto then hugged her, suddenly the door opened to reveal Madara and Hashirama. "So Naruto, this is your house and you must be Fu, our adopted granddaughter, since Naruto brought you into our family," Hashirama says. As Fu nodded, Hashirama runs and hugs her like the child he is, the man-child he is. "She's so cute, Naruto. Why aren't you this cute?" Hashirama asked, as Naruto grunted something about dumbest and ungrateful Senju. Madara was looking at Yaku. So you're my grandson's girlfriend?" he asks. Yaku blushes before she glares at him. "Yeah, and what about it? I'm not going to ask for approval. I only need approval for him," Yaku says. As Naruto was drinking something, Naruto then spat out when he heard her call him her boyfriend, or accept that he's her boyfriend. He spat out at Hashirama, who dodged it. "Hey, watch it," Hashirama yelled, but chuckled as he saw Naruto was blushing, as Madara saw this and also smirked. "I approve, Naruto. She's perfect. She's got power, beauty and brains, and she doesn't stand for people, not even if they're stronger than her," Madara says. "Hey, who said you're stronger than me?" Yaku says. Naruto's blush gets deeper as Naruto walks upstairs to take a bath. "We made him leave," they all thought, laughing. Naruto then took Yaku out on some dates over the next few days, as he took her to eat to have something fun to do, and then finally he took her out to see the stars, as Naruto felt her hug him as she started to cuddle him. "This is perfect," she says, as that was the last few words that she said before she slept or fell asleep. We now see Naruto and his grandfathers in the Raikage's office. "Naruto, the Akatsuki has begun their movements. A man claiming to be your grandfather, who is right in front of me, is orchestrating this movement," Raikage says. "So Obito's finally making his moves. A, call the Kage meeting," Madara says. "Find an A," says, as he called for a full Kage meeting since the Leaf Village is no longer a village. Then we see Naruto and his grandfather walking as everyone was staring. "Is that the legendary Madara and Hashirama walking with Lord Naruto?" Yoshinobu was saying. "I heard that he revived his grandfathers. Does his power know no limits?" Naruto says. "Amazing, no wonder he's so amazing. I want him," another fangirl said. "Too bad Yaku-chan's got him," another one said. We now go to the Kage meeting, where Naruto and Yaku were Raikage's guards. The Raikage was currently explaining the plan that Madara had told them that Obito had the Eye of the Moon plan. Madara and Hashirama were hiding. The Raikage had also informed the villagers to bring their Jinchurikis because it wouldn't be safe for them to be out of the village with their Jinchurikis unprotected. As they were discussing this, the Akatsuki and Obito appeared. "Oh, looky here, you've got our prizes ready for us. We'll be taking our Jinchurikis," the masked man known as Obito says. As the Akatsuki attacks, Itachi charges for Naruto, enraged. "You'll pay for what you did to the Leaf Village, you dumbass," Itachi yelled. As a kunai hits him, pinning him to the wall. "Another traitorous Uchiha that survived," Madara says. As he walked out of the shadows, "Madara," the Akatsuki yelled. "What are you doing here?" Obito yelled. "Well, you see, Obito, my grandson revived me. And now, for trying to catch him, you will die," Madara says. As Pain then charges towards Naruto with a Shinra Tensei, but Naruto phases through it using his Kamui. Naruto uses his own Shinra Tensei, blowing all of the painless paths back, destroying them. Konon gets angry and sends a lot of paper kunais at Naruto, but he once again uses Kamui to phase through them and then appears right in front of her as he slashes her head off. "Obito, your group is weak and you are a disgrace to my grandfather's teaching. How could someone being trained by my grandfather be so weak? You aren't even SS rank. What are you, a joke?" Naruto says. "How dare you? You're just a kid that your parents hate. Krishna and Minato actually cared about me before I left the village, unlike you. But they hated you," Obito says. "Oh, so the weak disgrace is caring about another dead last disgrace. At least I graduated Rookie of the Year. But you were the worst of the worst to ever come. You couldn't even activate your Sharingan. In fact, Kakashi took your Sharingan and made a better name for it than you could have. Just like how out of both of us who was training with Madara, I'm the best and you're the worst. You will always be the worst. You'll always be a failure. It's no wonder you couldn't protect Rin. It's no wonder Rin loved Kakashi," Naruto says as Obito got angry. "Don't you dare speak about Rin like that," Obito says. "You know, my friend Dari doesn't have a girlfriend yet, so perhaps I should revive Rin and use my Sharingan to age her up and then gift her to him. I mean, it is his birthday soon," Naruto says. He wasn't actually going to do this. He was just using this to make Obito get angry. "How dare you," Obito yelled as he rushed towards Naruto, forgetting to activate his Kamui in rage, only to have his head sliced off by Naruto. As Naruto then used Wood Star to kill the rest of the members of Akatsuki, apart from Itachi, who Madara was dealing with. "So now, Uchiha failure, you die. And after this, we're going to take away Sasuke's chakra," which means that the Uchiha clan, the traitorous version of the Uchiha clan, is dead, Madara says, cutting off Itachi's head. "Well then, I guess the Akatsuki's taken care of," Mai says, as the cloud, apart from Naruto and his grandfathers, return to the village, as well as the other Kagis and the gods. But you see Naruto and his grandfathers going towards the Leaf survivors to see Leaf rebuilding themselves. "Amaterasu," Naruto says, burning down the construction. "What did you do?" Minato yelled. "The Leaf is over," Hashirama says, as he uses wood-style deep forest emergence to turn the area into a forest. "Our legacy will only be Naruto, not that failed project that we call the Leaf Village," Madara says. "Now prepare to use your chakra," Naruto says, as he activates the dream ability, sealing away their chakra. Naruto and his grandfathers then teleport to the village, where Yaku, Yukito, Samui and Fu all hug him. "Yo, what's up guys?" Naruto says. "So you want us to war against the Akatsuki?" Yukito says. "Yeah, we Jinchurikis are now safe from those degenerates that were hunting us, claiming that they're going to get world peace somehow." As Naruto and Yaku left to hang out, time skip 5 years. Naruto was now 18 and was now marrying the love of his life, Yaku, as they went to the bed and enjoyed their time. Yaku was now 18 and was now marrying the love of her life, Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, Senju Uchiha, as Naruto took back the Namikaze name because he loved his grandmother that was Asuna Namikaze, as they went back to their bed to enjoy their time. Naruto and Yaku had a daughter called Nariko, who had so much power that she was born with 2 times the amount of chakra Naruto currently had, and she also had every single bloodline in existence. The cloud had prospered with Hinata, giving so many Hyugas thanks to her dream ability that now she would obey anyone that came into her chambers asking for a good time. They heard that the Leaf survivors had struggled to get jobs as workers because they because their skill set wasn't made for simple life like working at stores or something like that. In fact, Menma and Hanabi suffered the most as they were kind of stupid and arrogant. Hanabi and Menma eventually got married, seeing as they both had the same spoiled attitude. They had a son called Menabi. Trash, also known as Sakura, and the emo Uchiha got married and had a daughter called Sadra. Lee and Mita got married and had a child called Metal Lee. The others had their canon children, apart from Ino, who joined Rock Lee's harem. Naruto had also unlocked Kaguya's seal using his dream ability so that she could be with her grandchildren or grandchild. Well, they were expecting another child now, but right now we see Kaguya playing with Naruto, and Kaguya changed for the better. She no longer saw the need for Zetsus, as Naruto's dream ability allowed it to make it so that the Otsutskis changed their mind. As we now see Naruto, who has just seen her dad come back from being the Raikage. "Hey dad, can I ask you something?" Naruto asks. "Of course you can," my little angel, Naruto says. "Can you please tell me about the story about how you beat the evil Leaf Village and brought world peace and prosperity, and also made an alliance with the Otsutskis?" Naruto says. "Fine, it all started like this," Naruto says as he began to explain the whole story that I've basically just told you. But guys, that's all for this series. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to punch that like button, subscribe, and comment down below. Peace. Peace. But guys, that's all for today.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace.